Pal Dan. I just wanted to talk a little bit about the Black Bobbin Boost because it's coming out today. So this is an idea conceived by Shelby Pollard over at Black Bobbin, essentially a circuit that he calls bump, that is meant to be an always-on sort of something to replace the Klon type pedal that he would always use. And then a circuit that we're calling boost that is meant to just be an added clean boost, a little more versatile control, whereas bump just has the one volume knob, boost has a tone and gain and an output. And so I just wanted to do some quick tones with it. So I've got both sides on right now, and I have it set up to basically just be a clean sweetener. So these are not entirely transparent boosts. They each have their own kind of lift to them. Bump is a bit more about the kind of high mids and highs, and boost has like a bit of a kind of low mid hump, like a very minor one, and then you can actually use the tone control to either cut lows and add highs or cut highs and add lows. So there's a fair bit of tonal versatility in it. But yeah, let's just quickly kind of hear the difference and why you might want to use each one. So I'll go ahead and turn off boost and turn off bump as well so that we can hear the dry signal. So that's just this green partscaster kind of telly style pickups running into a Benson Vincent that is set clean and super low in volume because I'm in an apartment right now. I'm trying to actually mic it in the room. So beautiful sound as is. I have the Strymon Flint is adding a bit of reverb, and then the Line 6 DL4 just adding a bit of that kind of single repeat, or I guess I don't know, that simple delay with just a little bit of feedback and a little bit of length. So now let's go ahead and turn on bump and see how that changes things. Probably should have decided what I was going to play first, but we're just in DadGad, so just messing around. So what I noticed about this and what we wanted to achieve was basically the EQ character of a Klon set at about 9 o'clock on the gain control, but without any clipping happening. So the circuit is actually entirely different from the Klon circuit. It has similar high headroom, but it's meant to be just mega clean. So, the Klon, when you turn the gain all the way down, can function as a clean boost. But as you start to turn the gain up, the diodes start to be active, and you start to get a little bit of that clipping kind of preamp character. This is just meant to mimic the EQ, that minor mid sweetening that happens, but dead clean the entire way. And you have an output knob, so you can voice it to be even like, I think if about here, we'll probably notice that it's you can get sort of unity volume, but just get that mid and high enhancement, but at this kind of the same general perceived volume. And you can also just totally blast it, which I'm on a clean setting right now, and it's going to get mega loud. I'll put it at noon, and we'll just hear what that sounds like. actually want to just play that all day. I found that with this one, it kind of encourages dynamic range because of the way that it gives you more volume overall, and it makes you want to play a little bit more with playing softer, playing louder, and hearing how it reacts to all the transients, to the strength of the signal. And it really is, not totally transparent, but it just gives a bit of sweetening that is desirable. So that's the basics of the bump control, or the bump circuit, the bump side. It's got its own in and out jacks. So we have it wired right now where it's just internally going through bump and then through boost just by plugging into the two jacks. You can also break those connections to use them at separate spots in the signal chain. And it all just happens naturally internally depending on what how many jacks you're plugging into. Bump also has an internal trimpot to set the treble amount, so you can cut or boost trebles. I have it at noon right now, and I have only used it in testing and designing to make sure it works, but to be honest, it just sounds perfect to me at noon. But it's in there if you wanted to bring some more highs out or take some of the highs out. So let's hear now what the boost side sounds like. Things are kind of mostly at noon, so dry signal once more. So this one stays a little bit more neutral, but again, it does have like a tiny bit of a bump in the mids. But the gain and tone control make it a little more versatile. So the thing that Shelby wanted out of this circuit was basically he wanted to be able to leave bump on all the time and then have boost a little later in the chain to just push the volume up, just push things over the edge a little bit. So that's really, it's pretty neutral here, but you'll notice the output knob is below noon. So this also has a ton of volume on tap. I would kind of rather explore the way this gain knob works. So I'm going to actually put the output down a little bit more. And if you turn gain all the way down, it's just going to get quieter. Stay cleaner. It'll stay cleaner. As it's all the way down. As you push it a little farther, it'll get closer to breaking up. But just get really loud. Again, output is still the same, so we could be cranking output and just getting a massive clean boost. I'm actually going to turn this down a little bit and then just push gain all the way up. A little bit less. Basically, I want to show you how this turns into an overdrive. So still pretty clean, but it starts to drive as you dig in a little bit more. I can't believe how loud that feels in the room with how low output is. So now let's check out the tone control a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and dial back our gain, and again, just get a fairly neutral sound. And start to push the tone up. So what's going to happen is simultaneously it'll turn down bass and turn up the highs. It gets a little brighter. It takes a little bit of the weight away. You can totally max it out. Or start to push it the other way, so a little bit below noon. It should attenuate the highs a little bit, boost the lows a little bit. It's a little muddier than I would prefer for my taste, but it's still a super usable sound and a good way to tame brighter settings and just to be able to play around with it a little bit more. For example, maybe we take the output down again, get it driving by maxing out the gain. Pretty kind of heavy low end happening there. But what if we then use the bump to tighten it up? It's a pretty fun sound. So that's the basics of these two boosts. You've got one that's got more outward control, starts a little more neutral, but then can be shaped a lot more, and one that is meant to just be basically used all the time or just kicked in when you need a little extra push in those frequencies that you really want out of a kind of guitar-centric clean boost. So just to kind of showcase another usage here. Basically, I'm an overdriven guitar player. I usually don't do super clean tones. So I'm actually going to just switch the Vincent to dirty channel real quick. Let's turn these off and find our new clean. So now it's just driving a little bit still at comparable volumes. So now let's hit that bump circuit. I feel like I'm going out of tune, but that's fine. It's rock and roll. Now let's go ahead and boost it. I'm going to set the EQ back to neutral, and you can already hear it's just ready to go. But I'm going to start by picking soft. You know what? That's good. I think that's all you need to know. It is two clean boosts in one. You can create a drive within the pedal by really slamming the boost side with the bump side. You can give yourself increased dynamic range just to leave that bump side on the whole time and just explore quiet and loud. You can drive something already overdriving into further overdrive and get it just really fuzzed out and fun. And it's available now from Black Bobbin exclusively. Just a very cool concept from Shelby Pollard, executed by your old pal Dan and the whole team over at Old Blood Noise Endeavors. Hope you enjoy.